In general, autism is most often spoken about by researchers and teachers. In this series, we gathered those on the autism spectrum and asked them to give their voice. These are their stories.
Embarking on life's transitions is a journey we all share, with each person navigating the nuances of new faces, places, shapes, smells, and spaces in their own way. For individuals, particularly those with autism, the school environment introduces unique challenges, from nursery to primary school to secondary school to higher examinations. The term exam can be a trigger word to some autistic individuals. That word alone can indicate a certain point in our lives where you feel you have to conform to other people's expectations. Medical textbooks describe autism as a neurodevelopmental disorder that would make a person feel different. Good different or bad different? That is the question yet to be answered, but everyone's experience is different.
I never wanted to go to space, but I always enjoyed kind of looking at space and thinking about space. And I still think about space, and I still look at space. And that's like, people say they have a happy place, and that's a little bit cheesy, but space is my happy place. And then here's this place where it is literally empty. There is nothing there. By its definition, it is nothingness. And yet, there's like all this stuff in it. It's not people though, it's other stuff. I was 10 when I got into space, like properly, like I was always into space, I was always interested in it. But like it was 10 when I was properly like, I want to work in this, like I want to do this, as opposed to that's cool. And then really when I got into high school, because I was homeschooled first, like going to high school was a big jump up, but also down, because homeschooling for me was like the best thing. That's why I did it. Like it was like I can focus on what I want to learn and just learn that. And I don't have to do all this other stuff that really is dragging me down, is making me really anxious and really irritated all the time. And the problem is that you have to do the bad stuff. And I think the reason I went back to high school when I did is because I realized, oh, I'm gonna have to do the system if I want to get to this light at the end of the tunnel. Through all of these things that I'm thinking about, always the kind of the theme is, I want to do what I want to do, and I want to get to this place. The biggest thing is always my stress. Going to school, I went into S1, I was kind of a little bit older for it because I felt I needed the time to mature a bit and kind of learn some strategies for managing 30 people in a room, which is pretty big. And I feel like there's a limit, because 100 people in a room, 200, 300, like it becomes to the point where you don't need to think about it. And the crowd becomes one person. But then when 30 is like just the right number, so it's that perfect storm of this is the worst it can be. And that was a big reason why I went to homeschooling and then coming back to high school. And I mean, it's difficult, and that is the biggest thing. Keeping stress in check is the bane of my life in school. Outside of classes, that's the other place in school, and that is arguably worse, because yeah, sure, you don't have to interact with them. It becomes harder, because then they're there. And hey, I'm not sure if you know this, teenagers are the worst people. Just the worst people. I'm living it. It is the worst. And so having to deal with people on a social level, social interaction, That's like autism's number one enemy, right? And I don't want to play into the stereotypes. But yeah, it is. It is. And so that's like kind of the other stress/anxiety driver. Other than that though, it's just the normal stuff that's always anxious for, like, I feel like most people can get anxious by the other stuff is like random loud noises. Why is the pigeon outside of the window for the past 45 minutes? What is it plotting? Are birds real at all? And the kind of, shower thoughts, but they're not happening in the shower. And you really wonder what you're doing with your life at some points. And that can be stressful for some people. And it's stressful for me. All kids should be able to have that point of like, I want to be an astronaut. It fits in with the policeman, fireman, nurse kind of trifectas, like astronaut, racing driver, they're all there as well. I never wanted to be an astronaut. I always thought the idea of going to space would be interesting, but never wanting to do it as like, that's your job. What I want to do is I want to design workouts. And and very unfortunately, there's no rocketry course at any of the universities in Scotland or anywhere in the UK. The closest we have is aerospace, and that is maths, because you need maths to figure it out. If you're actually doing the engineering, then what you're doing is very advanced guesswork. And that's it, that's what you do. And then just like that becomes something. The idea of someone coming to me and saying, here's a problem, solve this problem, please, and then we will take your solution and make it a reality. That to me is like perfect. That's great. I don't have to do anything, really. I'm being told what to do, and then I don't have to really do it. I just have to figure out how to do it. I don't need to do it. It's just the how. I went into school thinking I would have to do more managing than I have ended up having to do, because, fun fact, they give you timetables, and that's like, wow, that's exactly what I need. Not to say that I stick to them, but they're there. People with autism like rigid structure, and yeah, that's true, but like I'm fairly flexible, I think. And again, there's always people who are more flexible and less flexible than me. Tests are given kind of 2 weeks in advance, and then that's coming. The prelim dates were published last month. For reference, it's October. Prelims are in January. That's a lot of time to really, and obviously, there's studying, yeah, but besides studying, from a stress perspective, there's preparing for that month of, going in a very strange manner. And yeah, it keeps it very manageable. I want to do aerospace systems / aerospace engineering at Glasgow or Strathclyde University. And that's it, that's my goal. And I think establishing a goal early on, I don't know if it's the best, but it's certainly good. Like, it's not a bad thing. Having a goal that you want to go for. And that's my goal. This course, this one uni course. I want to stay in Scotland because it's free. No other reason, but like, I want to stay in Scotland because I'm at home and I don't have to deal with the stresses of living away from home and dorms and God forbid other people. But I want to live at home. I can live at home. I've been given this incredible opportunity where I have two of the best engineering universities / space universities on my doorstep, and they are free. Of course I'm going to go for it, and that's the whole kind of why do I get up in the morning, if you will. I've and maybe it's being narrow-minded, but I know what I want to do. And is it a bit unrealistic? Yeah, but dream big. It's a big place out there. It's like literally everything. You can try, you can try to fit into it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm dreaming up there.
High school may be an important part of our lives, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. No matter the difficulties and challenges we all face in high school, it will form a small part of a much bigger and fulfilling life. After all, it is a big world out there.